All right, I'm gonna share my screen. Okay, today we are talking about inviting.
Woo, I need this little.
Good. Yeah, this will be helpful. Okay, so we're gonna talk about inviting specifically to challenge groups. So when you think about like our job as a coach, essentially we have kind of like two halves. We have inviting to challenge groups, which is what a lot of like the beginning stages is going to be like the main chunk of your time. And then later on, if you want it to be like a full-time income, become like a true business, you'll have inviting to coaching as well. So we're going to focus on challenge groups tonight. So I always like to bring this back, any talk that we have, to the vital behaviors, because the 4 vital behaviors is literally what our job is as a coach. People can make it really complicated, but like literally our job is to be proof that the products work, connect, invite, and follow up, help our clients get results, and do personal development. That's it. So inviting is part of that second vital behavior. Keep it simple. So I like to imagine inviting like I'm having a dinner party. So imagine that you are hosting dinner, or you're having a game night, or some sort of like fun event. Who are you going to invite? Like friends from school, friends from high school, maybe your sisters or your cousins, your parents, whoever that is. Start inviting to your challenge groups with those people, because they're in your immediate circle, and they're going to be probably the most likely the ones who are going to just like support you just because it's you. As far as like why you're inviting them, you're probably inviting them because you're excited about the game night or the dinner. You think it'll be better with them there. Like you think, oh, like if I'm having this, I want her to be there because she's really fun, or because you enjoy spending time with them. So you can also think about it, if someone else is having a dinner party and you get invited, how does that feel? It feels like so good, because you're like, wow, they thought about me. Like, even if I can't make it, even if I'm out of town or I have plans, like I still love that they thought about me. So if you think about your groups like that, it can make it a lot less scary, because it's literally you just being like, hey, I have this community of girls who are working out and eating healthy. Would you want to hear information about it? It doesn't have to be intimidating. It doesn't have to be like this huge lofty thing. It's literally, we have this community, we have this party. I thought of you. I want to tell you information if it's something that you'd possibly be interested in. So that's the first little bit. So talking about this, why can inviting be scary? There's a lot of reasons, but I think the top 5 come down to this. First, people are scared about what other people think about them. This, I could probably like pick a whole bunch of Bible verses and like do a whole like in-depth study over this, but on the surface, our worth is not found in what other people think of us. It's found in the Lord. It is found in the fact that 2,000 years ago, Jesus died on the cross so that we can know him and spend eternity with him. That's it. It's not found in coaching. It's not found in our schoolwork. It's not found in the fact that it's not found in anything else. And so when we come at it from that perspective, it's like, okay, I'm freed up to invite people to this thing, and I don't have to put my worth in if they're going to say yes or no. Another thing that people oftentimes are scared of is that they feel like icky or weird about it. And I think both of those things, being scared about what other people think of you and feeling icky or weird, comes down to, do you believe in the products? Because if you truly believe in the products and like you've seen your own results, you can naturally pivot and be like, hey, I've seen results from these products. I use the workouts. I think they're awesome. They're 30 minutes long. Would you be interested in having a conversation about them? Another thing that people say can be scary, or just an excuse, is that they don't have time, which I know that we are all super busy, full-time student, full-time nurse, whatever it is. We talked about this last week on our like power hour training call, so feel free to look at that for more info. But at the end of the day, we're going to prioritize the things that we find value in. So if we find value in like scrolling or watching Netflix or reading the Bible or studying, like those things are going to have a spot in our day. And so if we are prioritizing coaching, whether it be just as a hobby or as a business, we're going to find time to invite, because really your business won't move forward unless you invite. Like you might have some very small percentage of people who reach out to you about it just from watching your posts or hearing about it. But for the most part, I'd say like 95% of my clients have come from me reaching out to them and inviting them to it. Another thing that can be scary is just the thought that it's like a transaction, like money is involved, and that can be like a touchy topic for some people. But if you think about coaching as like a business, you wouldn't walk into a boutique and expect them to give you a dress for free. Like, you know that you're purchasing something. And so it's the same thing. We're offering a service, we're offering professional like encouragement, cheerleading, and we're also offering a physical, tangible product of workouts and shakes and pre and post workout, whatever else people want to have. And then the very last thing, this tends to be my default, is the thought of I'm running out of people to invite. So at first you have like all the people in the world. You haven't invited anybody. So you have like your family, your best friends, you have everybody that you've ever come in contact with in high school or college, all your Facebook friends. But then you're like, oh my gosh, like who do I invite? So this is where the first part of vital number 2 says connect. That is why connecting is so important, because when you run out of like your natural market, the people that you already have a relationship with, you have connected for 10 minutes every single day for however long you've done that. And you have that new entire group of people who have now started watching your journey and like interacting with your posts. Another thing that I just have to tell myself, there are like quite literally millions of people on social media. All I have to do is go out and find them. And we can talk more about connecting on another call, but typically what I do is I go to an account that I have something in common with, and then I just scroll through who's liked the most recent picture and connect with people who maybe they're a nurse or they're a wife or they look like they're like around my age. I just find something in common with them and I go into their DMs and I establish that we have a connection, and then I just say like, hope you have a great week, and see where it goes. So kind of coming back to that believing in the products, if we believe in the workouts and the nutrition programs and we care about others and want them to see the change that we've seen in our own life, it's going to be a natural progression to want to invite them. And I know that it's not always going to be there, and we're always going to have that little bit of like, oh, but I don't want to do it, or like, ugh, like I don't want to do it again because I did it yesterday. But at the end of the day, we have tools that can help people. Like, we have these workouts and we have these nutrition programs that have, like, for me, have helped me find like total change and freedom in my relationship with food. And so when I'm inviting people, I have to remember that and be like, they might not need it right now, and that's fine. But like for me, if I hadn't been invited, I might still be in the spot that I was in with food and like being unmotivated for working out, and just trying to find those people who it is the right time for them is just how it's going to be. Okay, so the next 2 slides, it's kind of like a flow chart. So this was how I invited my first 8 months. And I say first 8 months because I don't think I invited somebody who I didn't know in person until that 8th month. So I was pretty much in my natural market, people I had met in person or had had a relationship with at some point before. So step number 1, this isn't technically inviting, but it's a huge part of inviting because it's basically your feed list for inviting. So sharing consistently on your stories and your posts. This has kind of a 2-prong benefit. 1, it shows people that you're doing something in the health and fitness realm. It also gives them a like physical view of what the workouts look like if you're posting like sample moves. And then it also gives you, like I said, a feed list for people to invite. So step 2 is, for the first 8 months, inviting pretty much every single person that you know. So the way that I did this, I started with people who were watching my stories. So I went on my story, I clicked the little icon of people who were watching it, and I invited the first 15 girls who showed up. That was it. You can save, if you have like a certain invite message, you can save that to Instagram DMs so that you don't have to like copy and paste from a note, but you can just like go in the app and just input it, change the name, send it off. It would probably take me like 5 minutes to send 15 invites. And I picked 15 only because I wanted my business to like ramp up early as opposed to later. Now I only invite 7 people a day. I think the business activity tracker says 5. It's whatever number of people that you feel like you can be consistent with. So if that's 3, do 3. If that's 10, do 10. So that those people can come from people watching your stories, liking your posts. I went through my entire Facebook friend list and just invited all of the women. I'm not marketing to men, so that's why I say women. Some coaches will do men and women. It's just personal preference. You can also look through your phone book. Like sometimes people don't have social media. So I missed some people and I was like scrolling through my contacts and I was like, oh my gosh, like I haven't talked to them in like 3 years, but like I have their contact. And then eventually I just went through who I was following on Instagram. And if I knew them in person, maybe they hadn't been watching my stories, but I did know them, I would just send them an invite. So once you kind of have those people, here's kind of the flow of how I did this. So we will get to my specific language in a couple slides, but generally here's what it looked like. My first invite essentially said, I'm an online health coach. Would you be open to hearing about our online accountability group? If a lot of times people wouldn't answer, which is fine. They didn't answer, they didn't hear from me. If they did answer and they said, yes, I'd love to hear info, I would get their email. I would send them my first little email, and then I would follow up and be like, hey, did you get the email? And then if they said, yep, not the right time, that's fine. The next month I would follow up and let them know, hey, our September group is starting on the 13th. Let me know if you're interested. I'd love to send you details. If you want to see the sample workout, I'd love to send that to you. I will send that follow-up for 6 months. And I do that because I know that like people are busy. They might open their phone and like totally forget that they saw it. And that's fine. Like I get that. I know like sometimes I'll be talking to moms and like their kid might have their phone and click on Instagram and open up the message and like they never saw it. Or it's like they're in the middle of finals week. I don't know. I'm stepping into their life. And so I don't want to just send them one follow-up and be like, all right, I'm done, because I might have just like stepped into their life at a totally inconvenient time. So I will follow up for 6 months. And then at the end of 6 months, if they haven't responded, which I wouldn't say a lot of times, but like I would say maybe like 5% of people, I will follow up every month for 6 months. They have not even answered. It'll say like seen, like on every single message. And I'm like, okay. So then I send a little like, hey, like I know I followed up with you about this the past couple months. I don't know what your schedule is looking like right now, but I wanted to give you one more heads up about our next group. Totally okay if it's not going to work out, but just let me know either way. I can show you the exact text, but that's essentially what it is. It's essentially like a, hey, one last thing, and then I no longer will follow up with them. So that's how I did it the first 8 months. And then now, oh yeah, actually we can go to scripts now. So if you go to Facebook, we're gonna go to our Be Transformed page. You can still see it, right, on Facebook?
It's not loading, I don't think.
Let me stop my share. Sometimes it does this. And then I'll reshare it. Okay, what about now?
Yep.
Okay. So on Be Transformed, if you go to units, and then there's only one unit, it's coaching resources. So if you go to Mayor's Language, this has all my invites, all my emails, everything. So for what we just talked about, if I know them, this is the invite that I will use. I say, hey, and then I put their name. I hope you're doing well. Not sure if you've seen my posts recently, but I started doing online health coaching / hosting online accountability groups to help women reach their health and fitness goals. No idea what you're currently doing to stay active / healthy, but would you be open to hearing about what I'm doing to see if it would be helpful to you? If they answer, I'll ask them.
It's not loading.
Ah, darn.
It's blank.
Let me stop share. I wonder if it's because I keep like switching to a new.
That's what happens with my professors too. So I think it's like Zoom.
Okay. Can you see
Okay,
it?
now I can see it.
Okay. So I just read this first paragraph. If they say, yeah, I'm open to hearing about it, I ask for their email. I will then send them this email once you have their email. This is the exact email that I've sent pretty much since I started coaching. And then if they don't answer, I will either send them this monthly follow-up. I'll say, hey, blank, I'm starting another health and fitness accountability group on April 5th if you're interested. Or now what I've started doing is I've started being a little more specific and inviting to the program that we're doing. So this month, my invite has looked like, or my follow-up has looked like, hey, blank, hope you're doing well. Not sure what your schedule / finances look like right now, but I wanted to invite you to our next health and fitness accountability group. We're starting, so this week I'm saying we're starting prep week for a 6-week workout program. Usually I was saying we're starting a 6-week workout program on September 13th. I'll help everybody with nutrition / meal plans too. Zero pressure, but let me know if you're at all interested and we can chat more about details / I can answer any questions you have. So it's super like totally on them. I'm not trying to be pushy. I'm just, here's the information. If you want it, great. If not, zero pressure. And then here's my little, if I've been following up with them for 6 months and I haven't had an answer, currently this is what it looks like. Hey, blank, I know I've messaged you the past few months about our group and you haven't seemed interested, and I'm not sure what all is going on in your life right now with all the pandemic craziness, but I wanted to extend another invite to our online health and fitness accountability group this month. I'd love to chat with you more to see if it's a good fit. No worries if not, but if you could let me know either way. Hope you're having a great week. So one more little lob in the park. If they take it, great. If not, not the time. Okay, so we'll come back to this in a second, and then I want to walk through what I'm doing now for invites. Okay, can you see the PowerPoint?
Yes.
Solid. Okay, so this is how I invite now. So the first step is still the exact same, sharing consistently on my stories and posts. Step 2, also very similar. Look at who's watching my stories and liking my posts, because I have gone through essentially all of my people who I'm following on Instagram and my Facebook friends. So I've kind of exhausted like the people who I've met. So now I'm mostly focusing on who's watching my stuff and like who's going to be familiar with what I'm doing. So after this step, I kind of have 2 avenues. I have, if I know them and I haven't invited them in a couple months, I will then re-invite them. Because what will happen is I will invite them and then they'll never answer, but they're still watching my stuff. And so if they're still watching, I'm like, well, I mean, they're still watching, like I might as well invite them because they've been watching me for 3 months. So I will invite them again, which I didn't start doing that till this month. And it's actually been really funny because I've had a lot of people be like, wait, yeah, like I'm ready. And I'm like, okay, I've been missing out on all these people. And then the other avenue, so this 10 minutes of connecting daily. I have been doing this now for 11 months. I started coaching October of last year. So I have now created this new market of people who I like you, like I've never met you in person. But somehow I came across your page and now you're a client and now you're a coach. This kind of looks like 2 different things. So I will be connecting with people. If, let's see how I did this. Okay, so if somebody is watching my stories and liking my posts who I haven't ever talked to over DMs before, I will go into now we're on step 3, I will go into their DMs and I'll find some sort of something I have in common with them. So if they're a wife, if they're a nurse, if they're a Christian, any dogs, like if they have a dog, like I will just go into their inbox and we can get to my script in a second, but I'll say something like, hey, blank, I stumbled on your page. I love meeting other Christian wives on Instagram. Just wanted to pop in and say hi. Hope you're having a great week. So my goal with that is literally just to make a friend. Like, yes, eventually, like maybe they'll be a client, maybe they'll be a coach. But my first priority is just making a friend, because on it, like I love making friends and I love finding other like Christian wives or Christian nurses or whoever it is. And so I will talk to them in their DMs. I also do this when I'm connecting. So part of my 10 minutes of connecting is popping into their DM, establishing a commonality, and then making a friendship. So after I have talked with them for a couple back and forths, I will then track that I contacted them. So the way that I track all my people is in Google Streak. So I will set a follow-up meeting with them essentially. And when their name pops up on my list of people to follow up with, I will invite them. I typically will put them like 5 days out just to give us enough time to like have a pretty good like conversation. And then I'll again go to my script in a second, but I'll say, hey, Alyssa, so sorry I didn't think to invite you sooner. I do online health coaching and I have a group of girls who all do similar workouts and follow or eat healthy and hold each other accountable. Would you be open to hearing about it to see if it would be helpful for you? So that's kind of how I do it now. I like find people, I make a connection, and then later, like a week-ish afterwards, I will invite them. That's it on that one. I'll go ahead while this is fresh and we can look at my script for that. It's in the same Word document. So, okay. So this circling around to people I've invited before but never answered. So these oftentimes will be people who I like knew in college who were some of the first people who I invited who they just like didn't answer. So I'll say, hey, Sarah, hope you're doing well. Not sure if you saw my message. This girl specifically, I invited her in December of last year. So not sure if you saw my message from back in December, but I wanted to invite you to our next health and fitness accountability group. And then it's the same message as my follow-up from that point. We're starting prep week for a 6-week workout program this week. I'll help everyone with nutrition and meal plans. Zero pressure, but let me know if you're interested, blah, blah, blah. So that's how that looks. Okay, so as far as connecting, if I like come across somebody's page that I have something in common with them, I say, hey, Riley, I stumbled across your page. I love meeting other Christian wives on Insta. Just wanted to pop in and say hi. Hope you're having a great week. Sometimes people will just like double click and like that. And if they do, then I'll pretend like they said something and I'll be like, how'd you and your husband meet? Or something that just kind of like starts a conversation. A lot of times people will be like, oh my gosh, this is so sweet. Like, thanks so much. Hope you have a good week too. And then I'll just start a conversation like, oh my, like, thanks so much. How'd you and your husband meet? Like, I just kind of go through that. If they're like a Christian, I'll like ask what they do for work. If they're in school, what are you studying? Just like pretend like you're having a conversation with somebody in person. Like, what would you ask? Sometimes I'll see somebody like that I'm following that I haven't connected with yet. And I'm like, whoops, maybe I like followed them and they were private and then they accepted my follow and I never like caught it. So it's very similar, but I'll say, hey, Sarah, just wanted to pop in and say hi. I basically take out I stumbled on your page because I'm already following them. So I just take that part out. Something that has been helpful. Oh, wait. We'll go ahead and do, let's see. Well, we can go and talk about this. Something that's been helpful for me is when I get somebody who follows me, I will either send them this message, hey, Sarah, I wanted to pop in and say hi if you find a commonality, or if they're private or I just like can't really find anything that we have in common, I'll just say, hello, so fun to connect with new friends on Instagram. I'm a healthy living wife and nurse doing my best to share tips and tricks I learn along the way. Let me know if there's anything you'd want me to share more of, and I'd love to get to know you too. So just a little, I see that you came to my page, welcome. If I see that somebody is like that I've already made a message to and they're still liking my stuff and looking at my stories, I will say, hey, blank, hope you're doing well. I see you following along with my posts. Love the support. So I establish like, hey, I know that you're watching my stuff. You know that you're watching my stuff. And then I just invite them. I'm an online health coach and I host accountability groups. You can read that on your own time. And then the very last one, if you've made a connection with somebody, you've been talking for a couple of days and the invite hasn't naturally come up, So a lot of times people will be like, tell me what you do with health and fitness coaching. Like they see that I do that and they're interested. So they'll ask. And a lot of times that will turn into an invite. But if it hasn't come up, this is what I say. Hey, Lucy, hope you've had a great week. So sorry I didn't think to invite you earlier. I do online health coaching and have a group of girls who all do similar workouts / eat healthy / hold each other accountable. No idea what you're doing to stay active or healthy, but would you be open to hearing about it to see if it would be helpful to you? So that is all my language. Again, you have access to that in the Facebook page, but I thought it'd be helpful to kind of talk through it. So another thing, don't underestimate the in-person invite. Once you have started like posting on your story and posting like on your page, it comes up so naturally in conversation. And so being prepared for that, like I've had people ask me, what do you do as a coach? And I essentially, this is what I say, I help people live healthier lives by helping people with workouts, nutrition, and accountability. I keep it super simple. If they want to hear more information, I can go more into it. But a lot of times it'll look like my coworkers are talking and they're like, man, like I really need a new workout program, or I've been doing this certain workout, but I'm like kind of tired of it. I'll be like, wait, you should try the ones that I do. Do you want me to send you a sample workout for it? And sometimes like if they're like, oh, how long are they? I'll be like, oh, they're just 30 minutes. Like you can do them at home. Like I wake up from my mid-shift nap and then I do them. And so samples, if you Google any Beachbody program name plus sample Vimeo, Vimeo is the website that they're all on. So you can just send people the link for that. And then I said, it takes away the scary. They've already seen you. They've watched your workout clips. They know what you're doing. It's like, it's going to come up in conversation. And honestly, those are the easiest because it's like in person and they can't just like read your message and go away. And then something that I like thinking about, like the vital behaviors, if we're connecting with people, that eventually leads to an invite. The invites will lead to follow-ups. Follow-ups will lead to clients. If any of these pieces are not like in the puzzle, you will not have as many clients because you are not like funneling all of the things into clients. We already talked about this, but I will send somebody a little hello message when they come to my page. It's kind of like somebody walking into a store. It's like they're going to say hi. Last little like things to remember. So we are stepping into their life. They're not expecting us to pop into their DMs. So don't have expectations around your invites, which is really hard to do, but you just have to put yourself in their shoes and be like, some person is messaging me and I'm in the middle of a really busy day and I don't have time to think about it. The more no's you get, the closer you are to a yes. And the no's are not about you. It's about them. So they're not saying no because they don't think highly of you. They're saying no because it's not right for them right now. I said people forget their message. Life is busy. But also the answer is always going to be no if you don't ask. So like I said, very, very small percentage of people have reached out to me about things. So the invite is really what gives them the opportunity to say yes or no. And then again, just want to hit on this again, because you are going to get no's. I get no's literally every single day. So don't get caught up with it. Our worth is not found in the no's. It's also not found in the yeses, and our worth is not found in the coaching, just in being a coach in general. So when you get no's, this is what I say. I say, okay, totally understand that. Do you want me to let you know about our next group? So then I'll just put their name on my next month's follow-ups. They'll get another follow-up from me. I've already told them I'm going to follow up with them. So it's like when I follow up with them next month, it's not scary because they're like, oh yeah, she told me she was going to follow up. And then at the end of all these calls, I like giving you guys like to-dos. So to-do number 1, share consistently on your story / page. That will give you a list of people to invite. Number 2, connecting 10 minutes a day to create a new market for the future. Number 3, invite your friends, families, and story watchers, and then eventually follow up with these people. So that's all I got. What questions do you have?
I mean, I just need to be more out there. But okay, so this girl that I went to camp this summer, and this girl that like I met at camp, she posted on her story and was like, I'm thinking about joining a gym membership. Like, what gyms do y'all go to? and like she put it in like the question thing, so I said like Beachbody. And I think about after like we get off this call, I'm gonna like message her and be like,
Yeah.
this is like an accountability group, like it's awesome.
Yeah.
So I need to like, I'm gonna do that. And then also, okay, so my friend, she just started Beachbody,
Okay.
but she I don't know why. Okay, so she knew I did it, but she like signed up with this other girl, and she like became a coach through her, but she wants to like join our group.
Okay. So since she is signed up as a coach, in order to be like, would she want you as her coach?
I don't know.
Okay, because
I have no idea.
she can join our group, but typically I only let people join our group if they're one of like my clients or one of like your clients. Just because like I do put work into the group, and I would preferably like to be like compensated for that.
Yeah.
And so if she were to switch to like have you as her coach, she would need to cancel the like coaching aspect of her membership, because essentially like, so, well, I'll get to that in a second. She would have to cancel the coaching portion, and then she would switch as a customer to you as her coach. There's a form that you fill out, which I can send you the link for that. It's pretty
Okay.
cool.
Okay.
And then she would have to wait 6 months before she re-signs up as a coach. So
Okay.
I don't know if she signed up as a coach just for the discount, or if she
I think so.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, because when it gets tricky is when people are signed up as a coach and they already have like coaches underneath them, so they've already like kind of started building the business. They would have to cancel the coach membership, and then those coaches underneath them just like get inherited by their.
Oh, okay.
So if she's
Okay.
just getting it for the discount and she's okay not getting the discount for 6 months, I would tell her cancel the coaching part, switch her client coach to you, and then in 6 months she could re-sign up as a coach.
Okay. Because I was telling her about like our accountability group, and like I love how like it's like faith-based, and like she is one person, like I went to high school with her, and we did like weekly Bible studies, and so like I think she would fit in perfectly. But okay, I'll let her know.
Yeah, I say it's up to her. Typically, like when people already have a coach, I'm very like putting it on them, because like I don't want to be like stealing people from coaches, because like I would be like, wait, what happened? Like you were one of my coaches for sure. So I like when people say, oh, I already do Beachbody workouts, I say, awesome. Like, are you in a group with your coach? Do you know your coach? Because you can sign up for Beachbody just on the website, and it assigns you to a random coach. So I'll have people be like, oh no, like I just signed up and I don't have a coach. And so I'm like, great, come, like I'll be your coach, come to our group. But other people, like if they know their coach and they're like friends with them and they're like in a group with them, I don't want to like step on any toes. So I would kind of like clarify that and be like, don't want to steal you away, but like you're welcome to switch if you want to.
Yeah. Okay.
Sweet. Good question.
But, I don't know. I just need to invite more people.
Yeah. I know. It's tough. It's tough. But I mean, really, like posting to stories was like the easiest like segue for me, because I would just say like, hey, blah, blah, blah. Hope you're having a great week. Not sure if you've seen my posts recently, which in my head, I'm like, I know you have, because I'm seeing that you're watching my stories. And then at the end of the day, it's like, we have the tools. If it's the right time for them, great. If it's not, totally fine. We'll keep inviting people, and we'll find people who it's a good time for them. So
yeah.
Okay.
That's it though.
Woo-hoo.